I'm Angel.
The morning sunlight filters through the curtains, casting a soft glow in my room. It's been a while since that fateful wedding, but the memories still feel as fresh as if they happened yesterday. The real shock hit at 9:42 a.m. The day after my wedding. My phone started buzzing like crazy, notifications piling up on the screen. I didn't even need to look to know it was from my little sister, Lily, and my mom. Lily's name lit up first, followed by a flurry of frantic messages. The subject lines were filled with disbelief and panic. A few seconds later, a notification from Mom popped up with those familiar words that carried the weight of expectation. I let the calls ring. I watched the screen as Lily's name pulsed, but I felt nothing but calm. I remembered how I used to rush to fix things, but now, a clear boundary had been drawn. When the third call came, I answered out of curiosity. Mom's voice rushed through the phone, filled with urgency and disbelief, trying to shift the responsibility back to me. But as she spoke, I felt a growing sense of separation. I realized that this panic was not about the loss of support. It was about the disruption of a long-standing family system built on imbalance. As I sat there, I started to reflect on how we got to this point. My family comes from a middle-class background. My dad is a quiet man, always on the sidelines, avoiding conflicts. My mom, on the other hand, is overly protective of Lily. She has a knack for excusing Lily's mistakes and downplaying my boundaries. Lily has always been the center of attention. She's 18 now, but she still acts as if the world owes her everything. I, on the other hand, have always been the responsible one, the one who takes care of things and makes sacrifices. Not long before the wedding, I was sitting at the kitchen table, finalizing the details for the reception. Lily walked in as if she owned the place. She dropped the bombshell that she wanted a luxury apartment, fully paid for by me. It was like a demand, not a request. I felt that familiar heaviness in my chest, the weight of all the times she assumed I would bend over backward for her. I tried to say no in my mind, but old fears of being labeled difficult or unloving held me back. Still, deep down, I knew I couldn't keep going like this. The moment Lily realized I wasn't going to give in, her attitude darkened. She gave me that silent accusatory stare, the one that always made me feel like I was in the wrong. Mom stepped in, as always, with her soft words about understanding Lily and being patient. Dad just hovered around, saying nothing. In that moment, I had a clear realization. The family dynamic was never going to change on its own. Lily wasn't going to grow up, Mom wasn't going to see the imbalance, and Dad wasn't going to step in. The only one who could change things was me. The days leading up to the wedding were filled with a strange sense of stillness. I started to remember all the times I had shouldered the responsibility for Lily's mistakes. Like the time she borrowed money for a shopping spree and never paid me back. Or when she missed an important exam because she forgot to study and expected me to help her deal with the consequences. I also thought about my wise old Aunt Rose. She was always observant, quietly noticing the unfairness in our family. She would gently ask me if I was giving too much, but I always brushed it off. After the apartment incident, though, I started to feel a shift inside me. I could sense a boundary forming, a boundary against years of accumulated strain. On the morning of the wedding, the barn where the ceremony was going to take place was a picture of beauty. The soft lighting and warm colors made it look like a fairy tale. But beneath the surface, I felt an undercurrent of unease. Maybe it was the memory of Lily's demand, or maybe it was my body's way of telling me that things were about to change. Guests began to arrive, and the place filled with excitement. The staff rolled in the beautiful wedding cake that my fiancé and I had chosen together. It was a simple yet meaningful cake, a symbol of our future. But then Lily arrived. She walked in with that same effortless confidence, her presence demanding attention. She scanned the room without a hint of admiration for all the hard work that had gone into the preparations. As the staff was positioning the cake, Lily walked closer. Without hesitation, she brushed the table, and the cake tumbled to the floor. The sound was like a sharp inhale in the room, followed by a stunned silence. Lily just smirked, as if it was all a big joke. And before anyone could react, Mom said, You know how she gets when she's disappointed. Disappointed because I refused to buy her that apartment. I didn't say a word. I just looked at the mess, turned around, and walked away. That evening, I made a decision. I removed my authorization from her apartment lease application and froze the money I had set aside for her. It wasn't an impulsive act. It was the result of years of imbalance. In the days that followed, the news of the fallout trickled in. Lily's situation was getting worse. Her apartment application was rejected. She couldn't find temporary housing, and her friends were distancing themselves. Mom tried to intervene, but the real world didn't care about her excuses. Dad's attempts were half-hearted, and soon he stepped back. For me, things started to feel different. The absence of conflict was a relief. I could finally focus on my own life, free from the constant weight of Lily's expectations. I realized that I hadn't lost a family. I had stepped out of a role that never suited me. I chose peace, and it settled in quietly, a reward for years of endurance. Just as some relationships can only survive when one person gives up too much, mine with Lily and my family had revealed its true nature. And I was finally ready to embrace a life that was truly mine.